What is up, guys? Delboy here. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys had a nice Christmas if you celebrate it. If not, I still hope you are doing well. And apologies for the cold. Been sort of battling a flu throughout the Christmas period. That's been a blessing and a curse because I've had some days off work. Not being able to make the most of those, but ultimately I've avoided seeing people who I don't want to see, so it's all good. But I wanted to talk about a bit of news that really disappointed me. And I know a lot of people are going to get upset because this guy he's a fan favourite, especially amongst the hardcore, especially amongst the boxing hipsters. So, Naoya Inoue's fight against Yoan Boyo on the 30th of December, which is incidentally a weak title defence. But that fight is going to be his last at Super Flyweight, and to me, I find that very, very disappointing. I suggest you guys go back to 2014 when Inoue becomes the WBC light flyweight champion. He defeats Adrian Hernandez to win that belt. Good win. He has a single title defence and then he decides to move up in weight. He doesn't decide to move up one weight class like most fighters do, which would obviously be flyweight. He moves up 2 weight classes. He moves up to super flyweight. And he defeats Omar Narvaez, which is a good win on paper. It's a good win. But you still have to put it in context. You have to look at the guys who are at flyweight who he could have fought. And can we really say Narvaez was better than those guys? I don't think we can. Narvaez was an ageing champion. He was very old for a lighter weight class. I think he was 39 by the time Inoue got to him. So we really have to ask ourselves some question. How much did Narvaez have left? And was he a tougher fight than the guys who were at flyweight? I would say no. We have to look at flyweight at the time. Back then, in 2014, Roman Gonzalez was viewed as the man at flyweight. But we still had guys like Juan Francisco Estrada, who was also in the weight class at the time. He was the WBO and the WBA flyweight champion. So essentially, he would have had to have beaten either Estrada or Roman Gonzalez to become a flyweight champion. And my question is, did he choose to jump a weight class to fight an easier touch? That's my question. And the reason I ask that question is because arguably he's done it again. Since beating Narvaez, which was a solid win, he's had 6 title defences. And none of those guys who he's defended his title against have been exactly world beaters. I know Kono was a good fighter, but he was really coming towards the end of his career. David Carmona, again, a good solid fringe level contender, but not top 5 in the division. So since he's beaten Narvaez back in 2014, what has Inoue really done? You have to ask yourself that question. Also, not only that, he fought in America against Antonio Nieves on the HBO Super Flyweight card, which kind of indicated he was willing to mix it up with guys like Saul Rungvisai and Estrada, but he's moved up. So my question is there sort of a reason for this? Do his team believe that these guys are too much for him? Do they believe that somebody like Saul Rungvisai could walk through him? Do they believe that Estrada could be a bit too seasoned at this moment in time? You'll have to let me know, because ultimately, I don't think it's unreasonable to say Inoue's not really fought a top level guy since 2014 when he beat Narvaez. I don't think that's unreasonable at all, to be quite honest. And again, I'm a guy who believes, based on the eye test, that Inoue could be a pound for pound level talent. But the reality is, I need to judge him based on the sort of progression of his career. And since he beat Narvaez, the level of competition hasn't been great. It seems, on the face of it, that he avoided flyweight when it was starting to get hot. And he's avoided super flyweight when it was getting hot. A lot of people out there, online, suggested that super flyweight was one of the strongest divisions in boxing. People were talking about it for a potential World Boxing Super Series for the next year, after these ones are done. People were saying that Super Flyweight is a great division for the World Boxing Super Series. So, is Inoue ducking these guys? Is he avoiding tough competition? Is he avoiding guys like Estrada and Rungvisai to try to go to Bantamweight and win titles against lesser guys? Because as much as I like Ryan Burnett, he's not as proven as Rungvisai or Estrada. And Inoue could beat him and become a 2-belt holder at Bantamweight. So my question is he trying to look at the least path of resistance? Has he just outgrown the weight? That could be possible. Maybe I'm being harsh, but the reality is, it's looking like we've got a pattern here, because you could argue he'd done the same at flyweight. Listen, sometimes fighters outgrow weight classes. That happens. We get it. But twice in a row now, he's avoided these guys. Just seems a little fishy to me. I'm disappointed. I would have loved to have seen Rungvisai versus Inoue. I beg your pardon. The Rungvisai versus Estrada winner against Inoue. That's a great fight. And I truly believe Inoue could beat either one of them. Truly believe that. But the reality is, how I feel, I can't really go off that. I need to base it off actions. And the reality is, Inoue has put those fights off the table. That's the reality. So, as a fan of Inoue, I'm very disappointed. He can still obviously have a great career. He can still go on from this. But listen, 2018, Inoue, I'm expecting something big. I'm expecting him to fight one of the better belt holders in Luis Neri or Zolane Tete. I'm looking for one of those fights. If not, it's very disappointing. If he fights Zolane Tete or Neri, I'd forgive him, it's because they're great fights. But if you go to Bantamweight and fight Ryan Burnett, who is a good fighter, by the way, and I would give Inoue credit for beating him. Ryan Burnett is no Rungvisai. He's no Estrada. So I'm expecting a big 2018 from Inoue, because he really needs to do something next year, because, like I said, arguably his last big win was 2014. So I am really expecting a big year for Inoue in 2018. What do you guys think? Am I overreacting, or am I being fair? I personally feel I'm being fair. I'm a big fan of Inoue. I've got no reason to hate on the guy. I just feel that this is very disappointing. What do you guys think? Peace.